New Washington had their way. What they probably want to do is get out here. And you know that this is the first time that Wolf has touched the basketball in this game with 3:30 remaining in the first period of play. He's their leading scorer and hasn't touched it yet. There's a three from way downtown in the corner by Harris. It's 11-5.
Harris has scored all their points.
Kane fires the 16-footer and gets it. 13-5. They let him open. Gadledge outside, almost lost the dribble. Back outside the wire. Wolf's only touched that basketball one time here in this first period of play. Now he gets it for the second time, deep in the corner. Tries to come back outside with it.
Goes out of bounds.
And a turnover. No, they're going to call a foul on Senninger, a blocking foul on Senninger away from the basketball. So that's his second, team's second, and immediately we've got a substitute coming in. Aaron Reckelhoff comes in to replace Wire in that lineup. Senninger goes out, and Eric Leakin, a 6-foot senior, comes in to replace him. 13-5, 2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining here in period number 1 of this one-game regional Class A basketball game. John Kane with it for New Washington. Inside to Latham, easy little spin to the basket on the feed from Kane. Put it up and in, 15-5. New Washington. Started to say New Washington would like to get this game and salt it away early if they possibly can.
They're doing a pretty good job
They
of that.
sure are. Driving in for the layup. It will not go. And down with a rebound. Another one. John Kane. Kane just doing a marvelous job, especially on that defensive board. Strickland's going to fire another three. And a pushing foul from three-point range. Ooh. And Strickland will get 3 shots. And Coach Hoaksong up off the bench, pointing to his temples, saying, think, son, think. That foul is going to go against Gadledge. That's his first, team's third, but Strickland will be at the line. He'll have 3.
Shooting the new-fashioned three-point play. He's a 76% free throw shooter, averages 16.2 points per game. He hits the first one. New Washington is 3 for 3 from the line. That was his 6th point for Strickland. He also averages 3.4 rebounds. He hits that one. Looks like he almost automatically puts them in. Looks so easy for him.
76% shooters usually do. They are fairly consistent.
New Washington with a 12-point lead, make that 13. 18-5, 2:09 left first period.
Gadledge, again, almost lost the basketball, but picked up the dribble. Goes around. New Washington still in that 2-3 zone, which is working very well. There's a steal momentarily, and Harris going on the inside. Player control foul or not? Yes. Or walking, one of the two. No, they're going to call it a walking violation.
He was out of control heading for the basket there.
Yeah. So New Washington will have it. 18-5 with 1:52 remaining here in the first period of play. The winner here goes on to the Greencastle semi-state. They'll play the winner of the Tecumseh-Lagodi basketball game in game 1 Saturday morning. Strickland puts up the shot from the outside. No, they fight for the rebound, and coming down with it finally is Wolf for Dubois, Northeast Dubois. Deep in the corner, shot put up by Harris, and it's off the mark, and Kane again has the rebound. Boy, he's got a bunch of them already.
I think that's his 5th rebound.
Washington now trying to spread it out a little bit. Heading down the left side on the dribble, Jess Hamner starts to go in. He is fouled as he heads for the basket.
Hamner's hammered.
Aaron Reckelhoff gets the call on that one. His first, team's 4th. Common foul out of bounds. New Washington will have it. John Kane will take care of getting it in for the Mustangs. 1-1-1, 1 minute 11 seconds remaining, first period of play. Latham fires it back outside. Kane's got it, top of the circle, inside to Latham. Starts to go inside, and off Latham's hands, out of bounds it goes. So New Washington turns it over. It is their 2nd turnover of the ball game. Clock coming down to the minute 1 minute and 4 seconds remaining as Cole Harris takes the inbounds pass, starts to dribble up the floor. He's going to be trapped over there on the side. Tries to get it away to Eric Leakin, but throws it away, and they commit their 4th turnover of the ball game. Substitute coming in now as Wire comes back in. He'll replace Cole Harris in that Jeep lineup.
New Washington's the type team you don't want to get down 13 points in the first quarter on. They're hard to come back against them.
Kane turns it over to Strickland. He's going to walk it up the court. I wouldn't be surprised to see them try to get the last shot here in this first period of play.
They're awfully good at controlling the ball.
Kane outside, over to Strickland. 42 seconds now. Strickland starting to go around. Gatledge now goes over to Kane. Right side to Hamner. Hamner back outside to Latham. 30 seconds now. Exactly what the Mustangs are doing is taking a little time off the clock. Strickland almost lost it, but thanks to Keith Bagby being there, it bumped into him and the referee's in play. Strickland starts to go inside, puts up the shot, it will not fall. Coming down with a rebound with 10 seconds remaining is Leakin. He gets it back on the side to Wire. Wire starts to make the drive inside. Wolf pulls up, fires, hits, and Wolf gets his first 2 points of the ball game as the first period comes to the end. And end with New Washington on top, 18-7. Back with more. This is high school basketball on Wave 1450 radio and on Telesport on Inside Channel 43 in Clark in Washington County. Now we're going to give them a few seats right in front of us. Athletic Director Ralph Scales, Larry Sigler,
George Marshall.
George Marshall, former coach of the Red Devils. Outside, the Jeeps have it. They go deep in the corner, and Wolf has no shot. Put up in the corner. A shot by Aaron Reckelhoff, a 3, and he got it. It's an 18-10 ball game now. New Washington with it. Strickland starts to go inside. Finds his way to the basket. Puts up the shot. It will not go. He had an easy layup. The rebound taken down by Harris. Turns it over to Wire, and Wire will bring it up the court. Suddenly, New Washington goes a little bit cold. Again, the Mustangs drop into that 2-3 zone defense. Wire with it, top of the key. Goes left side. Deep in the corner goes Leakin. He's caught in there and putting the basketball outside to Wolf. Wire on the wing, high on the right wing, over to Wolf. He tries to work his way on the inside, and a foul is going to be called against New Washington. Either going to be Kane. That's going to go against Joe Wood. That'll be his second, team's third. Common foul out of bounds. The Jeeps will have it out in their own half court. Inbounds pass comes into Wire. 6:40 on the clock. Second period of play as Wire starts to go inside and doubles it back outside, top of the key to Wolf. Wolf now over to Cole Harris. Leakin high on the left wing. Deep in the corner, Wolf wide open, takes it, hits it. Can't give him that much room. Somebody down in the zone in the far left corner, not dropping over quickly enough. New Washington with the basketball now, and a palming the ball called on New Washington. Another floor error number 3. And Northeast Dubois working their way back into the ball game, and Coach Jim Matthews wants a 30-second timeout to talk about it. And we'll keep it right here. Bob?
Suddenly, Northeast Dubois came out in the second half in the less than first 2 minutes, and they've scored 5 quick ones. They had a 13-point lead at the end of one. Now they got a 6-point lead. So during that first quarter, we didn't get to the stats, but New Washington hit 6 of 11 from the field for 55%. Of that, 5 of 7 from 2-point range for 71%. 1 of 4 from 3-point range, 25%. Northeast Dubois shot 38% from the field, 3 of 8. 2 of 4 from 2-point range and 1 of 4 from 3-point range for 25%.
Back in action now. It'll be the Jeeps with the basketball. Cole Harris will have it. Turns it over to Gatledge, and Gatledge gets it across the timeline. Fires a pass down inside. And taking it hard to the basket is Aaron Reckelhoff. He's done a great job coming off the bench. And New Washington with it now. They'll go right side to Hamner, and a foul called by the official, Jay Ritter, away from the ball. That one will go against Aaron Reckelhoff. I believe that's the call. That's his second, team's 5th. Common foul out of bounds. Kane will have it for New Washington under the basket. Gets it into Latham, over to Hamner, and back it goes to Strickland. Almost lost it out of bounds, but he retains possession. Garrett Schindler now in the lineup, first substitute for the Mustangs. Latham taking it strong to the basket. Nice reverse move in there, gets his 6th point, and finally New Washington breaks that 18-point plateau that they were sitting on. It's a 6-point game, 20-14, 5:22 remaining here in the first half of play. Wolf with the basketball, around the horn they go. Outside to Meyer, now to Harris on the right side. Back and forth. Wire to Harris. Now to Gatledge. Now wide open underneath is Wolf. Puts it up and in. They just worked it around until New Washington got a little lazy on the defense underneath. And they spotted Wolf, and he pumped it in easily. It's a 4-point game. Strickland now with a 3 off the front. And again, we've got a 3-point foul. Strickland is going to go back to the line. And the foul is going to go against Gatledge. That'll be his second. And Caleb Strickland is going to go to the line. He's 3 of 3 on the night so far.
He hit those 3 the last time he had the 3-pointer. He's got a total of 8 points thus far. He averages 16.2 points per game. He puts that one in. It's almost automatic putting him to the line. Give New Washington a 5-point lead back. Make it a 6-point lead. He's got a good form on his foul shot, too. An excellent form. Puts it right through, hits nothing but net. Same time, every time. Automatic. 23-16, 7-point lead.
6 of those coming from free throws from Strickland. In fact, 8 of 8 so far for the Mustangs on the night.
You can't get much better than that.
No, you can't, and that's the difference in the ball game. Wire with it now. Outside that 2-3 zone. Goes left side to Gatledge. Gatledge looking down in the corner for Wolf. Dustin Wolf's got it. Fires it outside to Cole Harris. Harris back to Gatledge on the left wing. Gatledge starts to work inside. Back out to Wire. Had a notion, but changed his mind. Wire looking. Over to Harris. Very patient team, these
yes,
Jeeps.
They are. They'll find that open shot, though, and go for it when they want to.
Under 4 minutes remaining here in the first half of play. 23-16. New Washington up by 7. Gatledge starting to go in. Wire's going to try the 3. It's off the mark, and Kane with still another rebound for the big senior. Turns it over to Strickland. He brings it up the right side. Now to Hamner. Hamner inside to Latham. Back to Hamner. Fires the 3. Nothing but net. Just Hamner gets on the scoreboard with a tray to start it off. 16-26. New Washington on top by 10 now. The clock comes down to 3 minutes and 20 seconds remaining here in the first half of play. Wire with it now. Dribbling around outside. Except for a couple of times that they got loose underneath. New Washington's done a good job of keeping the big boys out from the basket. Wolf starts to drive in, has to pull up, but he fires the shot and gets it. Wolf now with 9. Makes it a 26-18 ball game. Strickland starts to go inside, dishes back to Schindler. Basketball touched by the Jeep, so Strickland gets another chance at a 3. Will not go, and off the rebound, coming up with it is Aaron Reckelhoff. Now to Wire, and Wire will set up the offense. Gatledge with it out front. Matthews talked about Gatledge in his play. Now that's second time that Wire's thrown it away. He did it first to one side, now to this side. This time he tried to get it over to Wolf, and Wolf zigged when he should have zagged. 2 minutes, 25 seconds remaining in the second quarter. New Washington with an 8-point lead, 26-18, and the basketball as Caleb Strickland brings it up the court. John Kane coming up, indicating a signal from Coach Matthews. Almost losing the dribble as Latham goes inside to Kane. Kane turn around, will not go, and they fight for the rebound. Coming down with it is Wire. Woo! I thought he was on the line, but the official didn't look there. Wire quickly over to Gatledge, and a foul is going to be called on Schindler. It's no place to make a foul in a basketball game.
Not in the backcourt.
So Schindler will pick up his first, team's fourth.
I think they were trying to trap him back there. He got a little bit over anxious.
Less than 2 minutes remaining here in the first half of play. New Washington up by 8. But the Northeast Dubois Jeeps with the basketball as Wire's got it. Again, the quick feet of the Mustangs kick the basketball, and out of bounds it'll go to Northeast Dubois.
Schindler got it that time.
Minute 45 remaining. Wire takes the inbounds pass. Gatledge starts to penetrate inside, goes up for the shot, has the shot blocked by Kane, and off the hands of Schindler, it goes out of bounds, so the Jeeps will have it with a minute 33 remaining. They'll have it out in their own half court under their own basket. Cole Harris will have the responsibility of getting it in. Long pass fired way outside the Wire, now over to Gatledge. Deep in the corner to Harris, back out to Wire. Looking inside. Schindler forces him back to the outside. Now over to Wolf they go. Dustin Wolf coming outside for one of the rare times. He usually works that baseline. Wire tries another three, hits this one. Wire getting his first basket of the game, making it a 5-point contest. Latham going into the paint, pulls up and drops one through. Latham, they gave him the lane and he took it. Makes it a 28-21 ball game, less than a minute to go here in the first half of play. Gatledge with the basketball. Wire had a notion, back to Gatledge. Now on the side to Leakin. Gatledge on the dribble. Back outside, Wire's going to try another three. Got it. Those two quick ones by Wire. And it's 28-24 with 32 seconds remaining here in the first half of play. New Washington with a 4-point lead now. Caleb Strickland with a basketball outside. Starts to go in, pulls up, will not go, and a rebound taken down by the Jeeps. There's again a question on shot selection. 8 seconds. Harris, he's going to fire from three-point range. He got it! Oh. They've got a 1-point contest as they head to the locker room. New Washington really blowing a big lead here in this first half of play. And a three-pointer by Cole Harris with 2 seconds remaining in the first half pulls the Northeast Dubois Jeeps within one. We've got a 28-27 ball game as we head for the halftime. We will be back. We'll take a look at the scoring in the first half. We'll take a look at the statistics, but right now let's take a timeout for these important words. You're listening to high school basketball on Wave 1450 radio and on Telesport on Insight Channel 20 in Floyd and Harrison County. Hello, George. Pretty good.
Back here at North Dubois.
Just saying hello to George Marshall momentarily, the former head coach of the Red Devils of Jeffersonville. He's being joined by Athletic Director Ralph Scales up here in the stands, directly below our vantage point. Let's take a look at the scoring here in the first half of play. And, you know, New Washington had a tremendous lead. They had an 18-5 lead going in just about 18-7 is the way it ended up at the end of the first period of play. And then on the strength of 1, 2, 3, 4 threes in that second period from the Jeeps, they were able to climb back to within 1 point. It is now a 28-27 ball game. Let's take a look at the scoring first of all for Northeast Dubois. They have 2 players with 8 points each, Cole Harris and Dustin Wolf. Wolf, their leading scorer, with each with 8. Robert Wire, on the strength of 2 trays that he hit late in the second period, has 6 points, and Aaron Reckelhoff, coming off the bench for Coach Bill Hoaxang, has 5. I have the Jeeps going to the foul line 1 time in the first half and unsuccessful on that attempt. We'll be back. We'll take a look at the scoring by the Mustangs, but right now another timeout for these good words. You're listening to high school basketball here on Wave 1450 Radio and on Inside Channel 43 in Clark and Washington counties. At the half, with the Mustangs of New Washington leading the Jeeps by 1 point, 28-27 at the break. Let's take a look at the scoring by New Washington. They're being led by Caleb Strickland, the only player in double figures in this contest. He's got 11 points. Daniel Latham, on the strength of some great inside moves, has 8. John Kane has chipped in with 6, and Jess Hamner has fired 1 from outside the circle and hit it, and he has a total of 3. The thing that's kept New Washington on top in this one, they're hitting a perfect 8 of 8 from the charity stripe. Bob, let's take a look at the stats before we take another break.
As you said, New Washington's perfect 8 of 8, 100% from the free throw line. From the field, they're 9 of 20 for 45%. Of that, they're 7 of 13 from two-point range for 54%, and 2 of 7 from three-point range for 29%. They really did good in that first quarter. They hit 5 of 7 from two-point range for 71%, but they really cooled down quite a bit in that second quarter. Turnovers, they only had 3. That's a good part of their game. And rebounds, they have 6 defensive rebounds and 2 offensive rebounds. And if I'm not mistaken, John Kane got all 6 of those defensive rebounds, if I'm not mistaken on that. On the other side of the ledger, North Dubois has gone to the line 1 time and missed that for 0%. They're shooting 61% from the field, 11 of 18. Of that, 6 of 9 from two-point range for 67%. And get this, 5 of 9 from three-point range for a blazing 56% from three-point range. That's really is what got them back in the game, and is really what is hurting New Washington at this time. They're about even on rebounds. They have a total of 7, 5 defensive, 2 offensive, and they have 5 turnovers, which isn't bad in a game like this. Again, that halftime score, New Washington leads by a slim 1-point lead, 28-27. Gil.
2 teams are back on the court now and getting ready for their third period play. We'll be back. We're going to take a 2-minute timeout for these good words. You're listening to high school basketball here in Wave 1450 Radio and on Telesport on Inside Channel 43 in Clark and Washington counties. To a 1-point lead, 28-27. The Mustangs will have the basketball when we get underway. Officials waiting for the clock to run down. 2, 1, and there we go. Now the buzzer will sound, and we are set and ready to go. Keith Bagby, the official, points at the scorer's table, says, "You ready?" He said, "Yeah." And he hands the ball over to New Washington, and quickly they get it into Latham. He's got it on the right wing, back outside to Strickland, top of the key. Over to Kane, starts to go in, bad shot. Why he even took that shot, I'll never know. But Northeast Dubois comes up with the loose basketball, and they're going to walk it up the floor. Gadledge with it. Harris had a notion, now gets it over to Wire. Wire back to Gadledge. Outside between the circles, works against Hamner. Now it's Dustin Wolf with the basketball. Wolf putting it over on the side. Now to Gadledge. New Washington trying to figure out on their defense. It looks like they're on man-to-man now. As Wolf starts to go down inside, nowhere to go, puts it back outside to Seninger. Harris has it in the paint, drives to the basket, and as he goes in for the shot, he is fouled. Strickland in the vicinity on that one. Let's see how they call it. John Kane will get called with it. That is his second, team's first here in the second half of play, and that's going to put Cole Harris at the line. He's got 8 points in the ball game now. He'll have a couple.
He's an 81% free throw shooter, averages 10 points per game. He hits that one.
Ties it up.
28 all, 6:59 left in the game, in this third quarter.
The Jeeps have not led in this contest.
They have now, 29-28.
And the crowd on their feet, a capacity crowd here at Northeast Dubois tonight. Strickland starts to go inside, pulls up, fires, rattles one down, and New Washington regains that lead 30-29. Quickly up the court, right side, Gadledge goes to Wire. Works against Strickland, goes into the paint, puts it back outside to Wolf. Wolf outside the circle, spins, starts to go inside. Kane cuts him off with good defense. Back to Seninger, and it's back outside to Gadledge. He'll set it up again. Starts to go down, then back to Wire. Wire over to Harris. Along the baseline, Seninger puts up the shot. No, with Wolf right there for the long rebound. Fires it back outside, wide open. Gadledge puts up the three. No. And getting the rebound underneath is Seninger. It will not fall, and Kane clears the glass for the Mustangs. And a timeout called by Coach Jim Matthews, a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here. 6:05 on the clock, third period of play. New Washington back on top by a score of 30-29. The Mustangs led this one by a score of 18-7 at the first quarter break.
That's the first time they led that 29-28 in the whole game. You know, this is an awful explosive team. If you have any mental lapse at all, they can quickly put some points on the board, as they did at two different times at the end of the first period, first part of the second period, and then again at the end of that second period. They really came back strong and quick.
Well, the thing that got them back into it was the three-point shooting. You said they hit, what, 57% in that first half?
Yeah.
That's twice their team average.
They're shooting 67% from two-point range. That's exceptional shooting. You can't beat a team that's shooting 61% overall.
Well, you can if you shoot 62%.
And get as many shots as they get.
There you go. New Washington will have the basketball now as we get back into play. It's Joe Wood getting it into Caleb Strickland, and Strickland on the dribble works against the man-to-man defense of the Jeeps. Round and round they go. Hamner, left side to Joe Wood. Strickland getting a good look at the basket, will not go, and long rebound. Comes out to Wire, he pulls it down. Gadledge with it now for the Jeeps. Sees an opening in the lane, takes it to the basket, lays it up and in. Great move on the part of Mark Gadledge, and quickly a timeout called.
And an insurance company you can trust. Don't bargain on bargain rate car insurance. Get the service and value you deserve from State Farm agent Robert Smith at 320 Triangle Drive, Sellersburg. Call 246-5433.
Back here, we are already in action. They don't take a full 1 minute timeout, I guess. Down the side, a pushing foul away from the basketball. That's going to go against Latham, I believe.
No, Weiner.
Against whom?
I think it was Wire.
No, Cole Harris.
Oh, Harris, okay.
Picking up his first, team's first here in the second half. Common foul out of bounds. New Washington with a basketball. Strickland out of bounds. That's the long pass in. It comes way outside to Joe Wood. And Wood goes right side